Okay. So, I think I have a plan for this
Okay,
fight.
dragon fight.
It was using all air moves, so I'm going to use some thunder shit.
Okay.
And I changed my espers as well.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's not the one I want. Starlet heals.
So we're bolting. I mean, it is an air dragon, so you would assume thunder, right?
Fenrir does images, right?
I think Fenrir does images. I like that Fenrir is associated with the moon. Like,
Serpent's a heal. I just don't remember who I assigned to what, so I have to check.
Right.
Again.
Fenris is such a cool... You know the Darkthrone guy's name is Fenris, right?
Say what?
Fenris is one of the 2 prime members of the band Darkthrone.
I don't know nothing about that. I'm sorry.
Darkthrone's one of the key second wave of black metal bands.
Yeah?
Transylvanian Hunger. Yeah. I just, when I think of Fenris, I always think of Fenris from Darkthrone. There's also someone named Garm in the same scene, which is the other Nordic wolf creature.
Yes, I remember Garm. For sure.
The wolf, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It must have been in a game, because it's not like I spend a lot of time looking at mythologies.
Right.
And things, so it probably showed up in a game. It's probably been in a Final Fantasy game, honestly. To be realistic.
Garm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we fought a Garm already.
Yeah.
Garm was the vocalist of the band Ulver.
Nice.
Yes. I like to sometimes think of all of the people who have adopted, mythological names. And black metal.
It does seem like, of all the musical genres, just metal in general seems to pay the most attention to, like, mythologies and history and...
I think it's, like, fundamentally romantic, or was, at a certain time period.
Yeah. It's cool that way. I like it, that it, you know...
Yeah, totally.
It's intellectual in that way, that maybe not all music is.
That's an interesting point. Famous church burner, murderer, and neo-Nazi, Varg Vikernes.
Really selling me on this guy.
Of Burzum, also from that same scene, called himself Count Grishnak, which is from Tolkien. By the way.
Very nice.
I believe his early band was called Uruk-hai as well.
Great.
He's a terrible human being, but Count Grishnak, Tolkien reference. I do find it, like, Tolkien references Peter Jackson films are always kind of a fascinating thing to me.
Yeah, it seems a little bit more
Way more esoteric,
Wow,
yeah.
Starlet.
That was real good.
Looked cool. It wasn't as powerful, but it looked cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I've talked before about what just metal was kind of like one of my... Like, it was like weirdly like super into metal and also super into like emo and stuff at the same time. Like kind of like weirdly into both of those things. But
I don't think that requires much reconciliation.
I don't think so either.
Both.
I mean, I feel like they both to some degree have the same ancestors. And also, I don't know. I did read...
Got him.
Yeah!
Strategy fucking worked like a charm.
I have never heard this articulated before, except by my Facebook friend Viridian. But black metal in particular is probably Six Dragons Left. Yeah.
Got one down.
Is probably the most like... I don't know what word to use right now because I drink a lot of this Bernardus, but like androgynous, like feminine, or it has the most space for those sorts of things. You know what I mean? Like, like death metal tends to be overtly masculine, I feel like, and so do a lot of other variants of metal. But I feel like black metal, with its kind of like poetic, romantic qualities, you know, like its mythologies, its theatricality.
Yes, definitely.
In particular, its use of aliases and all that sorts of things, I think can be kind of a feminine space. Like, I used to like kind of tell myself that I was growing my hair out primarily because, you know, it was like kind of like a metal thing. I remember one time when I was at Pizza Hut, like somebody said something about my hair, and like this like skinhead dude who worked in our kitchen was just like, no, it's like a metal thing, you know. And for some reason, even though I was like kind of this like teensy little like you know, I don't know, like weak little like Twinkie dude.
I just love him like intervening on your behalf.
Yeah.
And just like,
No,
it's Mask. Don't worry about it.
Well, the fact that he defended me was like kind of like, because that dude hated fucking everybody. Like, and he was like, you know, like in and out of prison and shit. Like,
oh, wow.
Like he was just kind of like, there were these two dudes there that like hated everybody. Like, and were just kind of like, you know, quote unquote bad dudes. But for some reason they kind of liked me. Like, and I felt like just really, it was really nice that they liked me. Instead of like, you know what I mean? Like he could have been just like fucking, you know,
yeah,
slur, but instead he was like, no, like defend this person, which is really cool. But the idea was just that black metal was kind of a
how was that wrong?
Gender ambiguous space, or it could be, even though like it was highly masculine like a lot of ways. There was space for people to take it. I don't see a lot of like trans girls who came out of metal circles.
Yeah. It does seem like sort of different spaces, but at the same time it's good that, you know,
yeah,
there's that blending there, you know.
Mm-hmm. It was a really nice thing to hear someone else articulate, because I had always kind of thought of it that way too. Just never really been able to put it into words. Well, I sure do talk a lot, Ryan.
It's okay. It's kind of what you're here to do.
What?
You have to talk to me. Because
well, then I feel sorry for
playing
you.
this game. But, I mean, just imagine when the tables are going to turn very shortly. Would you get the... Stop. God. Charlie is just eating the garbage.
See? That's like fucking hash brown, though, honestly.
Charlie does this when he wants attention.
That's what Hash Brown does too. He stands in front of the TV, or he climbs on the side table.
See that?
He started clawing at comic books that we have up there.
Oh, good.
So whenever he does that, we put him in cat jail.
Yeah.
But it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. It's not a deterrent in any way, shape,
You
or
need
form.
to get like a fucking rubber band flinger or something.
We fucking were using like a
Except they might
change
eat
shaker,
them. Yeah.
like to spook him.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, he was no longer spooked.
Oh,
He knew.
shit.
He fucking was like, nope, that is not a thing.
I don't buy it.
You're not gonna do anything, are you? Like, he's kind of fearless. Like, Christy and I have talked a lot about how Maverick in particular...
Is this the
happening.
way you want to be? Just like on my hands?
He's the best. He wants some love. But
It's
Maverick...
like fully on
Yeah,
on my game
this is-
playing hand.
Yeah, he just lied on top of Ryan's hands. It's very cute. But Maverick kind of... Part of the reason, Ryan, you're going to think maybe, based on what you know of my dear friend Maverick, that you're going to be like, this, you're going to call bullshit on me, but I used to love him a lot amongst all
Now
the,
I hate him.
of all of the cats at the shelter, because there seemed like some kind of like weird, like he seemed weirdly present in a way.
What do you mean by that?
Like he
Like
seemed...
how does that translate for a cat?
I don't know. Like, there's a certain sense to his awareness, like, the way he interacts with you, the way he looks. That always... And Chrissy has agreed with me, but it has always kind of felt a lot more palpable. Like, he seems less alien than some cats feel. Like, with Hash Brown, it's a really striking contrast, because, like, his eyes, like, just even looking at him sometimes will just be this, like, you can tell there's we love him, just, you know, the same, but there's a barrier. Like, I almost feel with Maverick, like, obviously, he's a cat, you know what I mean? But there's a degree of understanding, almost. Like, it's really, that sounds like crazy hippie stuff to say, but it's just, I guess, like, the thing is, like, if you were home alone if I was home alone with Hash Brown, I would feel a lot more alone than I would if I was home alone with Maverick. Just to give you an idea. Like, I feel like there's a presence with me. Like, not to impugn Hash Brown's good name. I love him. But he's just more, like, of a cat than Maverick, in a certain way. I'm not sure this makes any sense, but it's something I've always felt about Maverick.
I could sort of see that. I think it just depends on the individual animal, what kind of personality they have. Like,
yeah.
I think there are definitely... I mean... I don't know if you remember Molly.
I do remember.
But she was my parents' cat. And she was just... I think the only person that got along with her was my dad. And even then,
Yeah.
like, she was still just like a vicious bitch, like most of the time.
Yeah.
And it was really
I
hard
remember
to get along
Molly
with
being
her.
like that.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, Maverick is not... I think, and I know he is kind of... He's super confrontational with people that aren't us. But he is incredibly loving to us most of the time. Like, and honestly, having Hash Brown in the house, I think, has just, like, chilled him the fuck out. Also, he's, like, approaching middle age.
that helps.
But, like,
I've always been of the opinion that, you know, if you have an animal, it's best to have another animal. Otherwise, they get weird.
The only reason we didn't is because, you know, we were warned for so long that he would hurt them. We were afraid that when we had the kitten that Maverick might actually kill it.
Yeah, that's true.
But it didn't turn out that way at all. And in fact, Maverick has always been painted as far more violent than he actually is by everyone in his entire
Well, you know,
life.
my mom thinks that Taco is like a psychotic, violent cat.
Are you serious?
Because he bit her, like, literally one time because she was getting in his face when he was not wanting to be social.
People don't understand cat behavior. Like, they just really don't. Like, I have a friend that comes over a lot and interacts with Maverick, but, like, cannot read his body language at all. Like, I can look at him like, you should not touch him. Like, don't go above his head. Mm-hmm. He's gonna read that as a signal. Like, he doesn't want to be touched right now. I mean, you can just tell by looking at him, like, his, like, tail.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. It's just, like, but some people just don't either know how or can't read that body language.
Yeah, Taco very much has to have it on his terms, but, like, with me...
Yeah.
And part of it, I raised him from kittenhood. So, like, with my relationship with him is different from anyone else's. But, like, when I'm sitting in here doing video editing and I have that second chair out, because we've been... This requires a lot of explanation, but Abduction came out, which is a game from some of the people who made Myst, and is a point-and-click adventure game.
Cool.
It's very good, but we have not played much of it. But anyway, Tracy and I have played that together, and so we have a second chair in the office for playing that game. And so when I'm in here out by my own, you know, editing videos or whatever, Taco will get up on the chair next to me and just, you know, he wants attention, but he's not like Charlie. He doesn't always just get in your lap. He just, like, stands there and stares at you, and so you have to, like, you know, every once in a while just, like, go over there and pet him a little bit, and then, like, you know, if you really want to give him the attention, you know, put your head over to him, because, like, that's the way he is with me, is that he likes to rub heads with me. Which is why most of our, you know, intimate time between cat and owner is in bed, because that's when he can just be right near my face.
Maverick, I honestly think Taco and Maverick are similar in a lot of ways. Like, just that they have very specific ways of interacting with specific people. Yeah. Like, and I've tried to explain this before, but Maverick is just, he's very confrontational and afraid of people he doesn't know. And it's because I think...
That's the thing that's different between them, is that Maverick is confrontational out of fear. Taco hides out of fear, which is, I think, the more common behavior.
I think that is by far the more common behavior. That's the kind of thing that got Maverick all of those labels, though. Like, for some reason, he tries to fight things instead of running away from them. But I think, even more, to complicate that even more, he only is like that at home. Like it's fear, but he feels confident enough to approach things and, like, kind of engage them. When we take him outside the house, though, he's terrified and he cowers because he feels safe at home. Like, and I kind of, like, think a lot sometimes about, you know what I mean? Like, people are always kind of, you see, like, articles and shit that are like, does your cat love you and stuff? And I'm like, human concepts of love, you know, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't apply. But, like, to make a cat feel safe and cared for, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a reward that all on its own, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's, what more can you give them than a feeling of safety and security?
Well, I mean, it's just the classic, you know, if they're just able to look at you and close their eyes, you know, they trust you.
If he can sleep with his belly up and, you know, we're not going to disembowel him. Yeah. That's just why I love him so much. And I know a lot of people, like, pretty much everybody else who knows him doesn't really like him, but it's because he's difficult to get to know. He was much beloved at the shelter, though, for being the difficult cat. And honestly, it's been overblown. Like, there are and have been cats that are way worse behaved than Maverick, that, like, attack and fight. Chrissy's grandparents had a cat like Molly. His name was Elvis. It's a beautiful long-haired cat. But that cat was a fucking bastard. And if you went anywhere near it, he fucking, like, would claw at you, bite you, and run away. But Maverick's not really like that. Like, he might nip, but he doesn't really hurt people. It's, like, not his jam.
Yeah, Molly was, like, didn't want human contact. It didn't matter who it was. Even my dad, like, had to, like, physically restrain her.
Yeah.
And then, you know...
Totally.
Coercing and coaxing, you know... by small ways was able to get her to accept being petted. But like for most people it was like you could get a little bit on the head and then probably nothing after that. She was just miserable.
Yeah.
The most miserable cat I've ever met in my life. And like the thing is I've heard similar things about other Siamese, which is why I'm like kind of just not interested in that Siamese cat.
I wonder to what degree it's... I know it sounds stupid to say maybe to some people, but I wonder to what degree it's trauma. Like, when I explained to...
But, like, I don't understand how she would be traumatized. We got her from a litter of Siamese kittens, purebred.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible it could be something, you know...
She was the
intuitive
runt,
or innate. I know Maverick had, like, difficult situations, like, early on in his life with his litter and also with the first family that adopted him, declawing him as a kitten... being raised with dogs and children. Yeah. I always kind of think that Maverick was legitimately traumatized by it. And because cats don't really, as far as we know, have the capacity for metacognition, he can't analyze his own trauma and, like, analyze his coping mechanisms. You know what I mean? His coping mechanisms are his coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
It's just all he can do. So I try to be understanding about how he reacts in situations because to some degree he can't control that behavior because he can't think about how it's going to affect other people. That's just how animal cognition works. Hi!
I'm gonna watch something.
Oh,
sure. As soon as you came in, he started kneading, by the way. On my fucking leg.
But, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
I love my boy. All he does is sleep lately. Such a good man. But the thing is, too, is Hash Brown, he is kind of, in a sense, like Charlie, but... instead of wanting affection, he wants to play all the time. All he wants to do is kill. Like he's a hunter and a killer. Like, and I wonder if he might be semi-feral.
I've gotten that impression from him before, is that he acts like a feral cat.
Which is strange because he's been raised here.
I know.
Except for
this is
a month.
Sid's grave. Oh, there's a magicite here.
Oh.
Palidor?
Wow, there's just one sitting here on the beach.
Huh.
But Heshron...
Wow. Just make everybody use a jump attack? That seems pretty dope.
That seems awesome.
Oh, and he has haste too, which is
fucking
pretty sweet. Okay.
Like, the thing that unnerves us the most is when Heshron will, like, see you across the house, and then he'll, like, eyes full, and then he'll start doing that slow stalking walk, and we're just like, dude...
You need to leave. The others are surely waiting for you.
So sad.
Find the stairs next to the stove. Down them lies your road to freedom. Love, Granddad. You're doing it.
It's something unrelated.
Okay.
I just wish people...
For those not in the know, Claire's looking at her phone. Oh, fuck. Well, I'm glad I came back here, despite the fact that I knew that it was nothing.
Yeah, totally. It was
it
very
actually
worthwhile.
was something.
It rewarded you for backchecking.
Yeah. Gotta say, my smoothie's delicious. And this time I added some tequila to it, and I can barely taste it because of how strong the fruit flavor is.
See, you did it too. But that smoothie was fucking bomb.
I wouldn't have added bourbon to it.
Whatever.
Now, where's the Velts? Is it up here?
I feel like we saw it before.
Like, a thing showed us where it was. I think that's Doma, and this is the Velt.
I just saw somebody post something, like, a few weeks ago that was just like... that was like, every time I get a message, like, expect to be called out for something, and I'm just like... That's how I feel like it's the same fucking approach. I'm like, shit, what did I fucking do?
Wait, what?
Like, whenever somebody messages me, is like, hey, can I talk to you? I'm just like, Jesus.
There's a bark in the Velt cave.
It's Protector!
Interceptor.
Whatever. Fucking know what I mean, Ryan.
You're coming with us? What about over here, though? What is over here?
Nothing. Do you like my beautiful sounds? I'm trying to turn off my fucking thing, by the way.
Toe cutter. Look at this motherfucker.
Oh, he's gonna cut off your toes.
Palette swap with that scyther ass dude
Hey.
from before.